Phone muted. Hello, can anyone hear me now? Is anyone even here? Testing. Random stream test. Seeing if this will work at all. Muted. Hello, can anyone hear me now? Is anyone even here? Testing. Random stream test. Seeing if this will work at all. Muted. Hello, can anyone hear me now? Is anyone even here? Testing. Random stream test. Seeing if this will work at all. Muted. Hello, can anyone hear me now? Is anyone even here? Testing. Random stream test. Seeing if this will work at all. Muted. Hello, can anyone hear me now? Is anyone even here? I'm not sure why it keeps redoing itself. Let me do that. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay. It's random stream because every time I do a random stream and I'm excited about a topic, this stream seems to have enormous amounts of technical difficulties. So what I want to do is test this out alone and see how it works. So can you hear me okay? Is there a lot of static or anything? Hello, Antonio. I'm glad you're here too. Can you let me know if you can hear me all right? Is it clear? Oh, fantastic. Good. I thought if I might go through and read something really quickly. I just did it. I just recorded some audio. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I think it's probably because usually when I stream, there's more than one person on the Wi-Fi at my house. And then it seems like the more people you have on the stream, the more difficult it is to understand what the person is saying. So I wanted to try this out and see. I'm hoping to read for you guys something if you want, or you can ask questions too. I realized when I did my Q&A, I just answered questions that people asked, and there weren't that many, but there's so much more I could have added to this. Hello, Little Wicked, and Tim Willis, hello. There's so much more I could have added to the Q&A had people ask, but I might just volunteer information on another one just to make it more interesting because there's so much that people don't know about me. One example is I am a minister, but just like, you know how Joey did on the, hello, Twisted Angel. Joey did try to Wi-Fi enhancer to strengthen your Wi-Fi signal. No, I haven't. No. But anyways, I was saying I'm a ordained minister, and I'm using quote fingers when I say that, like Joey was for Friends when he married Monica and Chandler. I did that for a friend too. So I have performed about 10 wedding ceremonies. That's just a fact that you guys will know up. I don't know if I'm going to leave this stream up or not because I just wanted to put it up and test it out and see if it would work and answer any questions you guys might have. Our Wi-Fi is just wonderful. It's through our cable company, which you would think would be more solid. But my husband, actually, we collectively decided that we weren't even watching cable really, so we just wanted internet. But then when he downgraded it, they did something to our Wi-Fi. It was almost like a punishment for not keeping cable. So we went the summer without cable, and then everyone decided they wanted it back. And I say everyone because, I mean, my husband because of football season. But our Wi-Fi didn't get any better. I thought it would. But I do notice that the less people are in the house, the better this works. So, Twisted Angel, hello. Let's see, what else can I tell you? When I was in high school, I was in nursing. They had a program where if you did the 11th and 12th grade year and got a 4.0, which is pretty impossible because it was a difficult program. It was college classes in high school, And my school started at 6:30 in the morning, and I did that for 2 years. And if you got a 4.0 for 2 years, you got to continue on for 2 more years, and you would get your RN. And that was the last year they did the program. I was in the program with 50 kids, and only 5 of them went on to get that certificate. I'm going to keep checking back and forth to make sure this thing is on. You guys let me know if you start to hear anything fuzzy or echoey or anything like that, please. Does anybody have any questions? I could go on too, because there's a lot I realize that people don't know. Let's see. Hello, Jen. Hello. Green-eyed vamp is in the house. It's in the middle of the afternoon, and I'm coming down off my caffeine buzz. You ever notice that if you switch from, if anybody used like generic coffee, which I'm pretty pro generic everything, but I noticed that when I switched from like generic coffee to regular coffee, which I did recently, whew, a lot more caffeine. So I'm coming down off my morning caffeine here. I tend to, I'm going to do that like a celebratory thing, or so I don't do it. And it's low, that's not issues for you guys. Bye. But is that right to the router? Any issue, guys? Cured. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Is everybody still there? I'm gonna share this on Twitter. I forgot to share it on Twitter unless it shared it automatically. And there we go. There we go. Okay. Eek, you sounded like a robot. I sounded like a robot? What interested you to do a horror YouTube channel in the first place? I did answer that in my Q&A, but I'll answer it here. I've always been a horror fanatic. You guys can hear me clearly still, right? I have no way of knowing what I sound like unless you're, hey, Markbot. I have no way of knowing what you guys are hearing unless you tell me it sounds off. So hopefully it sounds clear still. I've always been a horror fanatic. And I've always read out loud. I did answer that in my Q&A, but I said I'll just answer it again. When I was really, really little, I was in speech therapy class, not for very long, but it was because my brother, when he was born, was hard of hearing. And he had tubes put in his ears, and it was about the 5th time where it finally took, and he could clearly hear, and he's fine now. He's totally healthy. But when you can't hear yourself speaking and you're learning how to talk, you do develop a severe speech impediment. And so since it was mainly just my brother and myself, I had one too. So their solution, and most schools have a speech therapist there, but they put me in speech therapy, and part of the speech therapy was reading out loud. And I could read I always remember being able to read. I'm not saying I could read at 2 or 3. That'd be crazy for me to attest to that, but I remember being able to read before I went to school, and I'm not exactly sure what age that was. But part of speech therapy was reading out loud. So that was probably at 5 or 6. When I was around 7 or 8, I fell in love with horror, and I would stay up all weekend, every weekend, trying to find and watch as many scary movies as I could find. Like, I wouldn't sleep. But the funny thing is, it's about that when you're a kid and you're a girl, not too many of your friends are into the same thing. So you know, some of that got pushed aside. But when I spent like a lot of time on YouTube looking up like do-it-yourself stuff, I noticed that that's how I found horror. It was a total accident, but I was like, yes. And I just listened to it more and more and more and more. And I thought, I'm going to try this. I'm just going to try it and see how it goes. But before I did that, I'm going to share this on my Twitter too, so you can laugh, because Margbot's seen it. But I had another channel I tried starting DIYs on, and my camera lighting was horrible. I didn't know, I don't think I knew how to explain everything well. I did teach one person how to crochet something. But I did this horrible, you ever seen those Pinterest fail things? So my mother-in-law, I didn't know she was kidding, but she showed me this picture of I'm gonna screen share it if I can find it here. But it was of a lamb cake, and it was like a joke Pinterest fail, but it was the before picture. And I didn't know that she was kidding. So I was like, man, how am I gonna make that? You know, I went through this whole thing of how am I gonna make this stupid cake? And I spent days making it. I made one before, I made a whole video of me making this horrible cake, but what was hilarious is I made one before that was even worse, and I never even recorded. But while I was in the middle of making it, she was like, oh, I'm just kidding, you don't have to make it. And I was like, screw that, I'm gonna make it anyways. But I'll share that link with you guys, like if I can figure out how to share the link. But I don't know how to share that with you guys. Like, shoot, I know how to screen share. Would you ever take a course on Yeah, if I get to that point. I'm going to actually share too. I just completed, and I'm waiting for ACX, which is like the Audible people that do the Audible books. I've been recording audiobooks, and I just completed this massive, it was like 88,000 words, which I guess isn't that many words for a series, but I just finished, it's books 1 through 4 for Star Force Origin series, and I had to redo a bunch of files because there's a certain specific way that the files have to be acceptable to sell them on Audible, which ACX is the company, so they know what it has to be. So they'll just send you back anything that's not up to their standards, and you have to fix it and send it back, and then wait for approval, yada yada yada. So I'm waiting for that to be released. But I have now contractually obligated to 4 more, and there's only one that's pretty big. I'm not sure if I can share those. I might be able to. One is a poetry book, and it's not that big. One is called, the next one is called Dragon's Fire, and it's book 3, so I'm not sure if I'll do more of that series. Bloodbath, and it's called Bloodbath, an Extreme Horror Story. And if you guys want the authors, I'll tell you who those are. And my one I'm really excited about is a book called Blood Relations, and it's actually a story about a girl who was in a cult. So that's going to be really interesting. The thing about Audible, their standards, remember, they were bought and now are owned by Amazon. Right, that's how you get audiobooks. Let's see, I taught myself to read 2 years old because my teacher sometimes had read books. Right. Ooh, they did? Edgar Allan Poe to kindergartners? That's twisted. Really? I cannot hear it. I know it's nasally. I have noticed that, and it's really annoying, and I cannot get rid of it. So I try to stay away from the microphone when I'm reading audiobooks, but I noticed that when I read, I have this like clicking in my nasal cavity, and it's not bubbles. It's like probably something that a doctor would have to correct. And it's like when I'm done saying a sentence, sometimes, and not all the time, like I can drink tea and blow my nose and drink tea and like heat up, if that makes sense, heat up my nasal cavity and my throat, and then it won't be there. But it's doing it right now. If I was talking into an actual microphone, you would hear it click at the end of each sentence. I can hear it in my ear and it's driving me crazy. But oh my gosh, my accent. And what's funny, the blood relations book that I just signed on to do, the character is from South Carolina, so I get to do like a Southern accent, just a slight one for that. So I'm kind of excited about that. Oh, it happens to me every day, Markbot. Every day. Congested and don't really know. Yeah, it's in this right now, Michigan, we've been in a heat wave too, where it's been like 90 for the past week. So that means my allergies that were subsiding now came back. So I can't even go outside. I literally can't go outside. Tomorrow it's supposed to be like 75, so I can finally go outside, but I can't even breathe right now because of the elements in the air and the heat. It's awful. My voice is very well balanced. It depends. It depends. And I did mention in my Q&A too, like my voice will get higher and higher when I'm in situations that make me anxious. It's subconscious, and I don't notice it until I listen back, and I'm like, oh my God, my voice is driving me crazy. My voice will drive me crazy. I'm going to try and share with you guys. I think I would have to go to a doctor, Markbot, for that to go away. Literally. Like, it's probably like a simple, like, you know how people like are tongue-tied, which I am also tongue-tied, which probably contributed to my speech impediment. And sometimes when I'm reading, I don't know if you guys will notice it, but you might now if I'm saying it. But sometimes when I'm reading, I still don't say my R's, or, you know, I'll say like Wandum's Dweem, and I'll have to cut it out and stop and I'll go, oh, I'll be so mad at myself because it sneaks up on me. But yeah, I'm thinking it's a simple fix, but I'm thinking it's something like that a doctor would have to do. It doesn't hurt. It's just really super annoying. Yeah, I'm going to show you this Pinterest fail cake. See if I can. I learned how to screen share, so you guys will have to let me know if you see it. Okay, my entire screen. I don't have anything to hide, so. Oh, let me see. Google Hangout. Oh, here we go. If you guys can see right now, these Pinterest lamb cakes, I believe. Oh, here it is. This one right here is the one that my mother-in-law thought was hilarious to send me the above photo. And then later on, she sent me the whole thing. She's like, just kidding. You don't have to make that. And I was like, you know what? Make anyway. And I did. And if I can find the link for that video, I don't know if I can share a link in here. Does anyone know if I can share a link on this thing? Maybe see if I can find out. Hold on a minute. If I can figure out how to do that, I will, because it's so... Margbot watched it. She knows. I can't watch it without laugh crying. Like, I literally laugh cry when I see the video of myself. I'm going to try and search for it. Hold on a second. I'm going to stop screen sharing with you for a second, just because I'm sure you don't want to see everything on my computer. Or do you? I don't have anything to hide. I'm not very exciting. Well, at least not to me. I don't think I'm very exciting, but you can, I think. Oh, okay. I'm going to try it, but I'm going to maybe screen share it so you can. I'm going to try and share the link with you. Let's see, what else? Anyone have any other questions? I think I was just rambling, and I really just wanted to test the stream out. What did everybody think about Saturday's police officer confessions? Anyone that watched that? Because some people were saying it was really rough, and some people were like, oh, this is nothing, and I didn't even read the worst ones for it, but they're pretty bad, and I read it because I wanted people to know that I know that cops get a bad rap, and there are some bad cops out there, but for every bad cop, there's 10 more good cops. And knowing that someone chooses to be a good person, even after what they have to deal with, I think is an important factor that many people don't think. Vodka or tequila? Do I have to choose one? Can't you mix them together? Isn't there a drink? Hey, Mark. Isn't there a drink where you can put vodka and tequila into the same thing? Is that a Long Island? I don't even know how to make a Long Island. It's important that I don't have that recipe. It's important to humanity that I not have that recipe. Let me see here. That's funny. Pinterest lamb fail cake, and I should find my own video. Yes. Oh no. I'm gonna see if I can share the link with you guys. Oh, it's so awful. Plus that, I'm like, I just woke up and took a thumbnail pic for it. So yeah, judge away when you see it. Oh my God. Does anyone know? Here's a link if it goes. I'm going to see if it'll share. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, enjoy that. Can you guys see that link? I'll have to wait. There's a delay. I don't know if it's like 10 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever. I was going to share that too on my regular channel, but I'm like, I don't know, because once people, hello Harry, once people see you like as a jokester, I think it's hard for people to be scared of you, and I think that's an important element when I'm telling scary stories. But I think everyone that knows me know how twisted my mind can be, but it's all in good fun. Got the link. Oh, yeah, enjoy that. You might want to wait to watch it, or you can watch it now and tell me what you think. But personally, when I watch it, and I'm thinking about it right now, when I watch it, I can't stop laughing at it. There's all kinds of goofiness there. Harry Reeds. I feel like Harry Reeds is someone that we should know who you are, because you seem to know an awful lot about everyone else. But maybe you're just a good investigator. You pay attention to clues. Now I wish I did have vodka or tequila right now, but it's the middle of the day on a Tuesday. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? Oh, I could tell you guys my real name, but you shouldn't know who I am. Why? Are you typing to us from prison? Are you, if you like sanity? Oh, dun, dun, dun. You work for the FBI, CIA? You're a wonderful weirdo just like me. Thank you. Wonderful weirdos spend a lot of time alone, don't we? I notice, like, when I'm home alone a lot, and I'm at that point in my life where, like, all the people that I've been friends with forever do their own thing. So I spend most of my time alone. And I noticed that I talk to myself a lot. I don't apologize for that anymore, because now I do it when I'm at the store. Like, whatever. I do it in my car. I do that constantly. But then I remembered, I know I don't want to talk about my childhood because it's too depressing. We're on a light note, so I'm going to stay there. But I noticed I've done it probably forever. When you spend a lot of time alone, you tend to do that. What was I going to say? I was going to start talking about something else, but I sidetracked myself. I don't need anyone else to distract me. I do it to myself. I believe I probably do have ADD or ADHD, but I talk to myself all the time. I have a lot of arguments. I don't understand how. I solve a lot of arguments, but the other people are never there to hear it. But in my mind, they completely see it from my point of view. Oh my God. So many things could be solved that way. But I do notice that, like, I spend a lot of time alone because I don't, number one, I can't agree with most people. And I don't mean I argue with everyone. I will. I don't have a problem with that. But their focus isn't the same as mine. And I notice the only time that I can be in a lot of company is when I conform to other people's thought processes. And it's so uncomfortable for me that I literally get like pains in my stomach. So I'm better off, like, I'm the type of person that wants to go to a party, but I don't want to, if that makes sense. Cole Hood, hello. You can win any argument you want via this amazing thing called denial. It's part of my 256-step program. You should write a book. And if you do, let me know so I can narrate it on acx.com. Oh, I was going to tell you guys my real name, if anyone wants to know it. Not my whole name, because, like, I don't need a stalker. But, I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't need a stalker, but it would be, like, kind of flattering. I'm just joking. Oh, you live stream right before I leave for work. I'm sorry. I was just finishing up audio for a story, and I just wanted to test it out to see if I could get it to work without screwing up. Because it seems like every time I schedule a live stream, I screw it up somehow. And I think usually it's from too much Wi-Fi being distributed. I don't know. If I can fix that, it would be golden. Anyway, Harry reads, I actually am looking to become a writer if anyone is interested. Yeah. DuchessDark676@gmail.com. Send them to me. I was going to tell you guys my real name if anyone wants to know. That's like the third prompt I've given and no one has asked. So I'm not going to say it if no one asks. But the reason I was going to bring it up is because it's similar to, it's Christmas themed. And so there was a Christmas song. Like when I was a kid, every kid had a Christmas concert because every kid had to go to choir as part of school. I know, Hugh. Yeah, there's a few of you here that already know my real name, so it's not a secret. My first name is Joelle because I was born right a week before Christmas. And so, what's your name, girl? Amberlina Slade, hello. My name is Joelle. And that's because I was born right before Christmas. And in case you're not familiar, there's a Christmas song, Noel. So for some reason, my class always had that song. And it's like my teacher knew, but she just picked that song anyway. And so when I was a kid, every class would have their Christmas concert. And it was usually in the daytime at school in the gymnasium, and parents, if they could come, came. And so each class would go up. It was either each class or each grade, but mine was my class. And I remember when they sang Noel, Noel, they replaced it with my name. And now I think that's pretty cool. But then I did not think it was cool. No one could ever pronounce my name correctly. No one remembered my name correctly. They always added an N. They called me Janelle, and Jolene. Which made my brother furious, by the way. He was like, why are you adding an N to her name? Anyways, so we're up there singing Christmas time, supposed to be happy, fun, and it comes to Noel. And everyone, instead of singing Noel, is singing Joel. And all the parents are like, oh, and I'm up there just crying, like bawling my eyes out because I feel like the freak that everyone is making fun of. Like, I'm sure that's not what was going on, but that's how it felt. Call me Harry Potter. I dare you. See what happens. Did someone try to call you Harry Potter? Mark's mom's name is Jo Ellen. I bet people call her Jolene. But some people mainly just call me, people that have known me forever, because I live in a town that I've grown up in. Like, I moved away, let's see, we lived here until I was 3, moved to Ohio, moved back, and then I've always lived here. I occasionally lived a few minutes north, but I've grown up here. So I still see people I've known my entire life. And people that have known me my entire life call me Joe or Josie. I don't know why, but yeah, just Joe a lot of times. People that have known me forever do call me that, just Joe. Let's see. Sparkly Demoness. She is lying. I wish I was sparkly. That would solve so many problems. Amply friendly stream all the gosh darn time. Huh? Do you look like Harry Potter? Harry Reid said, people call me Harry Potter all the stream, all the gosh darn time. Oh, does that mean I can't fucking swear? My stomach is growling because I didn't eat lunch yet, which normally I don't. So I don't know. If I come in here to start to record stuff or start looking up stories, I can just become so hyper-focused that a day can just slip away from me because I'm like a rabbit hole person. Like I'll start on one subject and try to look up everything about that subject, but then I'll see this other sparkly nugget over here and look over there and I'll look up everything over that. So I can really get lost. No, it's my goddamn name is Harry is my actual name. Yeah. I think we gathered that part, but I'm trying to figure out why people call you Harry Potter. Why would anyone call you Harry Potter, Harry Reid's? Is Harry Reid's your whole real name? Or is like Harry Reid's books? So people think it's funny. Oh, Harry, like Harry Potter. No, it's not. Okay, we're going to move on, Harry. Love you. Does anyone have any questions or requests? Maybe requests is a better thing. For whatever reason, Cole Hood says, for whatever reason, gets my name wrong. Call me Colt, Toll, or some variation of the two. Miss Monster, hello. My doggies are in here wondering what I'm doing. What's the matter? It's too hot, so they can't. Jen Parsons says, I lived in a small town in junior high, and because I was slightly chunky, the dumbass rednecks thought it would be funny to call me Jenna Heifer. Oh my God. Kids are mean. Actually, you know what? Grown-ups are mean too. Anyways, you know what's funny is, since we're on the subject, I've noticed like more and more women are like, fuck it, I'm going to wear whatever I want. And I love that. I am a pro be yourself. And I mean that for men and women. Okay. You're in depth. Antonio says you're in depth with what you like to narrate. That's why your content you put up as DuchessDark is so cool. I will say that if I don't think it's going to capture someone's attention or be worth their time, I'm not going to put it up. Yeah, I'm the Thick Girl Club too. You know, someone I watch, and I've watched her for a really long time. Her name is, it's called Learning to be Fearless. And she's just an adorable girl. Oh, bye, Mother Creepypasta. Have fun at work. Mother Creepypasta, I have to give her a shout out because not only has she been instrumental in me getting into audiobooks, she has literally, what is that? $2. What are you doing? Don't do that. I didn't even think that thing was activated. Margbot. I was saying Mother Creepypasta was not only instrumental in me getting into audiobooks, she has literally went out of her way to teach me because, man, they have some audio specs that are just crazy. Like if it weren't for her, there's no way I could have even finished the audiobooks because they're really difficult. And I think it goes without saying that anybody that narrates or makes video content for YouTube and has to do separate things, like when you do a video and you're just talking to the camera, you don't have to really do a lot except for edit out mistakes. But when you're reading something or trying to make something interesting for someone, interrupting. Zach Sherman, hello. Anybody else that I didn't say hello to? I don't think so. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. This is why rambling for me is important because it's like I'm on a train of thought and then I just get sidetracked. I will pay you to change your name to DuchessDark. Nah. No. I'll pay you to change your name to Harry Rod. The Biz Niche. Hello. That's a name I should change to. Duchess Biz Niche. I love that. That's funny. DuchessDark. That sounds like something that's wrong with your underwear. Dank. Harry Rod. Get it? Harry Rod. Anyways, I was on some sort of trail, and I lost my train of thought. I think it was about reading stories. Let me go back up and see. Oh, I was talking about Mother Creepypasta has been instrumental in teaching me how to do my audio correctly, because, and it's not even the way you read. It's got like certain things that you have to do to your, if you're using Audacity or any other program, you have to set it a certain way. Then you have to save it a certain way. And it has to be, there's a thing for audiobooks. It's called ACX Check, and it's an Audacity plugin. And she had to walk me through that because Audacity did not make it easy for me to figure out how to put ACX Check into Audacity. Really? Harry Rod says, no, I don't get it. All right. If anyone else understands what Harry Rod is, you just raise your hand, because I think everybody understands what a Harry Rod is. Anyway, moving on. I did start a Patreon, and I'm not telling you that so you can all run over there, but I did have some people I'm going to put in the front of the videos as people do it that really did go over there. So I gave them some downloads because I don't have any Patreon only account content yet, but I gave them some downloads because I had to give them something for being so kind to just go over there. Raise his hand, raise hand. Don't start calling me Harry Rod, please. Lower your hands. Cole Hood says, audiobooks have kept me from going insane. I have horrible tinnitus and have to listen to stuff all the time to make the noise go away. Oh, yeah, that's ringing in the ears, is it not? Sorry, I'm pausing for Cole Hood's. You know what? That means so much to me. When people say something like, I listen to you as I go to sleep, it helps me calm down and relax. And I'm going to tell you that without giving any information away that's important to myself to my own sanity, I will say that once I started my YouTube channel, I had a lot of sleeping issues that went away. They're not gone, but they diminished greatly. I used to have very, very vivid and horrible nightmares, and very real. Like I would wake up and realize they're not happening. Those have went away greatly. I have had a few nightmares after I've read some of the Serial Killer Saturdays, and I don't even think it's because it scared me, but I think it's because reading it and seeing it repetitively, because you don't just read it once, you read it before you read it, then you have to listen back and fix your mistakes, and then you listen to it once you put it all together, because you have to make sure nothing's missing. So I think once you do that, it's kind of stuck in your head. Wow. Zach Sherman says, yeah, listening to stories got me off drugs. Oh, you're welcome, Antonio. Cole Hood, yeah, sounds like crickets and cicadas all day, every day. That's terrible, Cole. I am really sorry about that. Is that from an injury? If you don't mind sharing, is that from an injury? Is that something that someone can fix for you, or just it's something you have to live with? While I wait for that answer, Harry Reid says, spooky stories equals less nightmares. Science. Zach Sherman says, it helps me relax, almost like meditation. I get wound up and stories calm me down. Me too. Me too. Harry Reid says, so did you marry a duke, or is this a title hereditary? Football Master 49. Hello, dear. Hope your day is going good. See you later. That's my husband, by the way, if anyone wonders. Football Master. No, I didn't marry a duke. I picked my name. I've said this so many times. Antonio says, I am disabled and don't get out as much, so watching your videos like yours, DuchessDark, gives me serenity. Thank you for sharing that, Antonio. I like the fact that I'm seeing a lot more commonplace, not as much as we probably should, but a lot more commonplace actors, either that are disabled or portraying disabled characters. There's an ABC comedy that I love. I have to figure out what it is. If someone else knows what I'm talking about, say it before me. But it's got Minnie Driver as the mom. And I'm going to check and see if anyone knows it yet. And her oldest son is wheelchair bound, but he also cannot speak. I'm going to look her up and see if I can find the name. It's going to say it. Oh, Speechless. It's called Speechless. What time of the month does Patreon take payment? Take it out? I think it said the first of the month. It says anonymous. Okay. Someone asked when does Patreon take payment out? It's the first of the month. But okay, bye. The biznitch said she has to go. She was coming on before her medical terminology class. Good luck. Peace out. But I was talking about the show Minnie Driver is in it, and her oldest son is wheelchair bound and he can't speak, but he does have a computer, and it's like there's like a little red light attached to it, and he can go over like words and parts of words to put words together, and then he has a an aide that helps read it for him. But I love the fact that they've made it, you know, as the character and this show has developed, it makes it's so important that they have a show on like that. Like, there's not enough words for me to express the importance of that show. And I hope you guys take a minute to at least watch it because I love it. There's also a guy on YouTube who was actually on the show, and his name is Zach. Oh man, let me see here. Let me find him because he does this hilarious thing called Workout Wednesday. Zach Anner, that's who it is. Okay, so Zach Anner, he does this thing called Workout Wednesdays, and he is complete. He's got, man, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Is it cystic fibrosis? Does that make sense? Multiple sclerosis. I don't know. He's wheelchair bound, and he always has been. He wrote a book, and he does this thing called Workout Wednesday, where he does like a parody of a workout, but he needs assistance doing it. But he does it to make light of the fact that, you know, you don't have to be so serious about people that have a serious condition, if that makes sense. At work, secretly listening here and there. Let's see. Jen Parsons. Oops. I burst my eardrum and it healed wrong, so I have tinnitus in my left ear on top of hearing a crackly heartbeat all the time. Ugh. So I understand the pain. Oh, that's terrible. That was so cute. What was so cute? Cole Hood, there's no real treatment. It's from when I was in the military, not having hearing protection and being around a lot of gunfire. High blood pressure makes it worse. Oh, yeah, I would imagine it does. Me too, me three. That's the way to do it. Way to do what now? I lost track of something. That's the way to do what? Oh, I've had that like minutely. But I understand. You gotta go potty? My doggies have to go potty. I have to let them out. I don't know. Let's see. Listen at work. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. You know, for the most part, I'm pretty like on it. But there's so many times where like, and it's usually at an important juncture in a conversation with someone that like, I really want to impress this person, I think in my head. And they'll be talking about something. And I totally like, I knew what they were talking about, but for whatever reason, my brain went off on some crazy random direction in my head. In the 15 seconds, there was a pause in conversation. And now they're like, do you agree? And I'm thinking, what? Agree about what? I totally forgot what we were talking about. Okay, what's the matter? My doggies are getting restless. My dogs are stuck inside because it's so hot. I can't leave them outside at all. I mean, we don't ever leave them outside anyway. But you know, if it's decent outside, I can go to the door, let them out. We have a fenced-in backyard. in case anyone's going to worry about that. We have a fenced-in backyard, so I can go to the slider and let them out, and they can go out and play because they're kind of like, if anyone looks at my Instagram, they kind of look like twins. They're both, they're a boxer mixed with other things, but they're both like black and white. They kind of look like mini cows, and they both have one brown eye and one blue eye, and they're crazy hyper. They're 4 years old now. They're 4 years old now, and they still have the energy of puppies. They're just now calming down enough to where, like, the last spring, I was able to take them on a walk by myself. But the whole time they pulled, and it was like, after a couple of weeks, I couldn't do it anymore because it was actually hurting my back. Let me see. When there's no one talking, I worried that, like, it went quiet or it died or something. Okay. Let's see what else. Something else you might know. And I just talked to Margaret already knows this, and Mother Creepypasta, what she's not here anymore, already knows this. But I have it's not even an injury, but I think it was just from all the injuries. I'm very accident prone. Like, I cleaned out my closet in my office so I could use it as a recording studio, which I couldn't do because it was too small and they're claustrophobic. But in the process of cleaning the stupid closet out, I went to walk from that closet, which is right next to the open door. So I had some stuff on my arms, backed away from the closet, went to walk through the open door with this pile of stuff, and I couldn't see that I was just an inch shy of the doorway, and I slammed into the doorway and hurt my foot so bad that I thought I broke a bone. I was on the floor for like 20 minutes crying, and I couldn't walk for a week. And that was when I had just started walking my dogs, like, around the neighborhood. So that messed that up too. But oh my God, I'm so accident prone. So prior to my back injury, I had hurt myself many different, the dumbest things. Like, I went snowboarding on the smallest hill ever one time and snapped the main tendon in my right leg and had to wear an air cast from ankle to hip for 6 months. That was relevant because I got this injury in 2008. It was a couple days before my birthday, actually. And I was just, my neck was really, really stiff, and it hurt really bad, really bad. And then it was really worse, really worse. It was really worse. We're all clearly great employees. Yes, you are. But I forgot what I was saying. Oh, I had to go to the hospital because my back hurt so bad that I couldn't catch my breath, and when I did, I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I've never even felt that much pain. I felt that for a moment when I had my daughter, but I think I would rather go through labor again than to have that back pain ever again. What happened, long story short, is I have, or had, it's still messed up, herniated disc at C5. If you know what that is, it's where your neck and meets your back. And so the plate was pressing on the nerves to my muscles all the way down my left arm. So they thought I was having a heart attack. I wasn't. And they had to give me this really, really strong pain stuff. That didn't even help. And all of the muscles in my arm and my neck were like hulked. They were, if you ever got a Charlie horse, think of that, only it won't go away. There's nothing that would make it go away. They had to do this procedure on me called a cervical infusion when it was non-invasive. If anyone's still listening and didn't fall asleep. Basically, you lie on your stomach, and they put this portable X-ray machine over the affected area of your spine, and they give you, like, what they did is give you multiple shots down the sides of the affected area, and he fed in these teeny tiny little catheters, and he's got an X-ray machine, so he knows what he's doing, and he basically built up the pad between the discs, and that stopped the pain. So I had 3 of them. The first one stopped the pain. The second one let the muscles relax finally. And the third one let me turn my head. But I never got the feeling back. So like half of my left arm, like half of my pointer finger, the tissue between my thumb, the tip, I can feel the bottom part of my thumb, but not the top. And then all the way up are sporadic areas where I can't feel it, and it often like sometimes my arm will like fling stuff. So for a long time I didn't have any glass cups or plates in my house until I could get it under control, and I still don't all the time, but it does things like if I'm on the computer and it's important that you not click on something, that's when my hand does click on something. So I'm really grateful for the undo button. Check and see if this is still on. Did everyone go to sleep? That's the funny thing is it is. Hello, kitty baby. Let's see. Colehood said, I can't ever hear what people say usually. No telling what kind of gnarly shit people told me, and I just smile and say awesome. Or I say, that's crazy shit. It can work for good or bad news. Oh, yeah. You know what's funny is, Antonio, it's not even an injury, and I don't know why it happened. I know that my brother he's 3 years younger than me, and he was diagnosed with degenerative disc disease, which back injuries, they're kind of hard. I mean, I think that a lot of people can play into them and get on disability, which, I mean, I just want to stay away from that. I know that it's very valid for some people, but I'm still very able to do everything that I need to do. I'm hoping that it doesn't progress. If it progresses, then I'll have to have surgery, and I'm avoiding that like the plague. Some of my fingers have been numb for days. That sucks. It sucks because I've burnt myself many times, and not even the numb part, other stuff, because I can't control. Sometimes I can't control it. It's hit or miss. It does what it wants to. The only thing that I was scared about was I know that every person that's had back surgery, number one, doesn't fix their problem. There's advances in surgery now, so that could be totally different. But everyone I've known so far that's had back surgery, it doesn't fix their problem. They're still in pain, and now they're hooked on pain pills. And they prescribed me something, and I didn't even take the paper for the prescription with me. Spent several months sleeping, sitting up in a chair. Yeah, that was my rambling of that. I don't tell anyone that for pity. I just tell that so that I want you to know that I can relate to anyone that's got a disability somewhat. But I mean, I can't even say that's a disability because it's annoying, but I don't think it's a disability. It's certainly not helpful at times. Like sometimes my husband will know, like if I'm carrying something and I need to put it down, like if it's heavy, he's like, oh, let me grab that. I'm like, you're gonna have to take it, because sometimes my arm will get stuck in that holding position. And it's funny now. I have to make fun of it. I mean, there's nothing else I can do. I don't want to be depressed about it. So I mean, it's just funny because sometimes it'll just be stuck. I'm like, can you straighten my arm out for me? Because it's kind of stuck, and then it's fine. But I do notice, like if I'm doing something physical, like trying to think of something, painting, like if I've got to paint a room, there's days where I can just paint a whole room and it's fine. There's other days that it might take me all week to paint a small bedroom because my arm will just be like, nope, you don't get to do that now. That's annoying. Yep, see, Kitty Baby says, my son got so many more problems out of that surgery. And that's exactly why I'm like, I hope I will avoid it as long as I possibly can. There are things like, the more I talk about it, I'll notice that it hurts. I can feel it throbbing right now because I'm talking about it. But most of the time, if I don't, I totally forget about it. And yeah, I just share that so that people can relate. Like I know that, yeah, everybody has their own struggles. Let's see. Antonio, your empathy is what matters. Thank you for caring. I do. I do. Jen, yeesh, I have to bail for a bit. I edit at lunch, and I really do need to do new stuff to put on my blog. Yes, I can't wait to read some of Jen's stuff, should I get permission. I'm going to have to go troll there and bug her on Twitter. I want to read some of your stories, Jen. Oh, excuse me. Anyways, I don't know how much longer. When did I start this? So like 10 after 12? I just started this just to see if I could do this without any technical interruptions. I would like to have I wanted to do a paranormal stream, but that day, I think that was a week ago, last Saturday. So this Saturday would be 2 weeks ago. I wanted to do that, but there was just so much weighing down on my mind about Twitter, or not Twitter, but about YouTube. And it was just starting to feel so hopeless. Not only that, but just people pitting against each other. And I'm the type of person where I'm extremely protective and I like to speak my mind. And I don't like people that are kiss ass, wannabe, shove people down so they can get ahead kind of people. And I like people that speak out against people like that. And there was a situation where someone had spoke out about someone and then they retracted it. And I felt so like, why did you even get me involved in this type of thing? If you know what I'm saying. Are you going to take this stream down if you're done, Duchess? I don't know. If it sounds good, I won't. But I mean, if it sounds like, oh, I have permission. Woo! I'll go through it, Jen, and see, and I'll send you a message before I read anything. Any artists here? I'm a novice artist. 808-27135. What should we call you? Or do you want to be called that? I wish I were an artist. I can, anyone's an artist. If you can make something out of nothing, that's artistry. Oh, while I'm thinking of it, because I get sidetracked very easily, I was thinking about starting podcasts, but not for reading. I was thinking about this in the shower, so maybe it's not a good idea. Column 8. But I was going to call it Duchess Does Politics, Feminism, Hot Topics. I was going to call it, what was I going to call it? DuchessDark Does Hot Topics and other random shit. I don't know. I was going to call it that. I can't draw something or anything. Duchess, do you like Hamilton? I feel like this is a trick question. Hamilton, please be more specific, Harry. Oh, and I was going to say, and I consider myself an artist. I'm the type of person where if there's a blank wall in my house and I don't know what to do with it, I'm probably going to draw or paint on it. Like right above our toilet in our bathroom, there's an enormous, I don't even know, I want to call it a daisy. It looks like a chrysanthemum, maybe. An enormous, like, I'm putting my arms out as far as I can above the toilet. This is a giant white flower that I made there. It's huge. Like, it's the biggest thing in the bathroom next to the shower curtain. The play Hamilton? I don't know. I don't think I've seen it, actually. You know, I like pretty much everything. Like music. When I started talking about the artist making something out of nothing, I think that anyone who can make, I don't know, was it a play? I haven't seen it. So maybe I should look into it. I'll write it down. Hamilton. Where could I see this? Only on Broadway? Is there someone available for me to watch this? Why does no one watch Hamilton? I don't know. Anyway, one of the reasons I was thinking about the podcast and hot topics and politics would be one of them, because I have very strong opinions on politics, and no, I'm not Republican or anything else. I am pro-people. I am pro-people should get to decide what happens to them, because, and this is why, it's one YouTube, please watch it, please. Okay, gotcha, Harry. Kitty baby, never heard of it. Okay, I started thinking about this in the shower because I try to listen to music, but my stupid phone is so quiet in there, I cannot really hear the music. So that drives me crazy. So I start thinking about music in there and how people say, well, I only like this kind of music, and I don't like this kind of music, and this kind of music is garbage. I am the type of person that literally will listen to any kind of music. And if that song sounds good to me, then I like that song. I'm not specified to one specific genre to say I only like that kind of music. And I don't stop myself from listening to other things because I presume that I won't like it just because of its genre, if that makes sense. I'm going to post lyrics in the chat. Forgive me. Okay. He was kidding, I hope, because you weren't being offensive. So let's just ease off the being offended in the chat. Capiche? Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, artistry, politics. I'm pro people. And I'm saying this because I'm thinking about starting a podcast where I just pick a topic and you can send me questions or whatever. And you guys let me know if this is a good idea or stupid. I would just put it on SoundCloud because I wouldn't make it part of this DuchessDark because it wouldn't be about that. I would be able to just freely speak my mind. And yeah, if only you heard me go off. I'm pro people, and I think people have forgotten that elected officials started out as volunteer positions, including being a president. Those were not paid positions. And those people have received pay because of the taxes they receive from people. And yet they do not serve the best interest of the people. And that bothers me to the core of my being. It also bothers me to the core of my being when people defend any politician, because none of them have our best interest in heart anymore. And if there is one, you guarantee he's getting drowned down. If you ever watch, I believe it's on, is it on C-SPAN or CNN, where you can watch them doing a vote in the House, and you can look around and see how many of our elected representatives are not even there to vote. So that bothers me. So that's why I was thinking about doing a podcast, so I could just randomly spew from my mouth whatever I wanted to. And I wouldn't have to make a video about it. I could just put up audio and just ramble. Because clearly, you're a politician. Defend yourself anyway. You're an adult. That statement doesn't make sense. So I might want to clear that up. But you're a politician. Defend yourself anyway. You're an adult. Anyway, that statement doesn't make sense, Harry. Maybe rephrase it. I'm not sure what you mean. Politicians can defend themselves all they want to. There's no justification for their actions, for their lack of actions, their mindset, their free willings to spend taxpayers' money on anything that they want, and many times not even taking consideration how it affects the people at all. Many politicians probably don't even know what a random person goes through on a daily basis because they have forgotten or they never experienced it themselves. Why can't a politician defend themselves if they're under verbal fire? Don't need someone else. That still doesn't make any sense. No one's asking them. I'm not asking a politician to defend themselves if they're under verbal fire. Number one, why are they under verbal fire? All I see every day about politics is nothing but how this person did this or Trump tweeted this and blah, 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 blah. No action. No action to protect and serve the people that they were elected to serve. That is their... No, your statement doesn't make sense, Harry. Just ignore me then. Why can't a politician defend themselves? They shouldn't have to defend themselves. They shouldn't be doing anything against people in any form, in any manner, or misusing or misappropriating funds where they need to defend themselves. That's the entire point. But I'm going to sway off of politics because that's not what my channel is about. But that's probably a hot topic that I will cover more than once on the podcast, that I probably will. Yeah, no kidding. George Washington. But I'm pretty sure George Washington was pro-slavery, so he doesn't need to come back. But he was a volunteer. He understood that he was serving the people. And I'm not sure at what point that changed. You know, they say, make America great again. And you're going to have to go back to a time where America was great and give a very solid example of that. Someone could say the 1950s. That would be invalid. Women weren't allowed to do a whole lot, and there was still segregation. So if you want to make America great again, and I'm using quote fingers, then you will be going back to severe misogyny and severe racism and segregation. So if you can find me a time in history where America was great and served everyone equally, that would be great. Why can't Obama? Obama, you know what? Obama tried to do a lot, and he got a lot of bullshit from every direction he went in. Let me start with free healthcare. People can say, well, that will cost us a ton. Well, we're the only country in the free world that doesn't offer healthcare to its citizens. Tell me how that makes sense. We're also the only country that doesn't regulate healthcare costs. And there's tons of things you can look up and educate yourself on and realize that it serves the better of everyone if everyone is healthy and cared for. Not only that, that would make doctors would become a government job. I'm sure some could still do private practices. But if you put it under the category of government job, that would mean after 10 years, their student loans, which they shouldn't have to have, would be forgiven. That would also inspire more people to go into the medical field because a lot of people avoid it because of the costs. But then again, I am straying off and this is becoming completely political, and that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, see, Harry reads? That's exactly why he needs to go. For anyone that's reading that. I saw a meme about Trump the other day that showed him without, let me see if I can find it. It was so funny. It was a meme about Trump, and it showed him like how he looks every day. And it showed Trump without his hair and makeup. It was so funny. I'm going to try and share it if I can find it. Hold on a second. There was a side-by-side of him, and I almost choked. I think I was drinking coffee. Let me do it. It's a side-by-side picture of him, how he normally looks, and then him without his, I don't know. I can't find it. If anybody else can find it, let me know. It's like a before and after. It's so funny. Before and after. Let's see. Why does everyone drink coffee before looking at the funny? You know what? I wasn't even looking for funny. I think I want to say it was in my Twitter feed. My Twitter feed. I love the Twitter feed. It always surprises me. I can go through like days of just scrolling on Twitter and laughing my ass off, and then I have to go through like a week of not looking at it, because if I see like anyone arguing and I feel like I need to get involved, I have to remember to not get involved, because I'm overly protective of people that I know. I'm the type of person that if you're my friend and you're being attacked, I don't even care if the other person is wrong. I'm going to defend you like nobody's business. But then if I find out that you cowed down to that other person, we not cool anymore. We not cool. Because I feel like I spent a lot of energy defending your ass. If that makes sense to anyone that's listening. I'm only seeing responses from Harry, so I'm kind of concerned now that everyone just was like, nope, I'm out. I'm trying to look for this before and after of Trump with hair and makeup. It's so funny. Since I learned how to screen share, yeah, I can't find the thing I'm looking for. But if anyone else does, please God, let me know. Okay. I'm overprotective too, says Antonio. Yeah, Donald Trump with all his hair and makeup. Oh my Lord. I just don't understand like why. I have less respect for him because he's not even showing himself. But again, I'm all for women that like to wear their hair and makeup with or without, so why not? But I feel like it's a huge attestament to his character as a politician, spending more time on his appearance than on actually getting anything done. it feels like he's going to spend most of his time in office just trying to repeal Obamacare. And I just read an article about that's not ever going to happen. So he's going to spend all of his time on Twitter and trying to repeal Obamacare instead of actually doing so. I mean, he could pick and choose some revisions out of Obamacare to make it better for people instead of trying to repeal it. But anyways, let's see. Nah, others are here. Oh, good. He looks like the guy from Saw. He does look kind of scary. But I mean, his wife is like gorgeous, so he probably feels like he has to compete so she doesn't run away. But I'm sure the guards and the dogs stop her from doing that. And probably the roofies, he slips her or has her slipped, or I don't know. I'm never going to understand it. Anyways, I got off. He's 71. I know everyone was saying that Bernie was too old to run. Well, him and Trump are the same age. So that logic doesn't even make any sense. And I had a lot of respect for Bernie. It seems like whenever someone's been in politics for a long time, they lose a lot of their perspective for the common man, and their intentions become clouded. And I think that if they went back to a strictly volunteer basis, it started out as a part-time volunteer, no paid position. And if they went back to that, I think we'd see a lot more honest people in office. He's rich, so yeah, gross. Ew. But I think that's gross if anyone's like super old and rich, man or woman, and they got like super young hot person that they're holding prisoner. Ew. I just noticed that I have like this whole thing below. What's on here? Subscribe. I need to take my Horror Amino thing off there. I don't even go on Horror Amino anymore. I was sharing like my videos on there, and then they were starting like, and Rainer Lewington told me they fixed this, but I just had it with them, so I didn't want to go back. But on my Horror Amino, they were doing this to everyone, like flagging it if it was just a video link or whatever. And I got into a heated discussion with some people that were running it. Oh, someone's here. I don't need an alarm. My dogs. It's an app for horror. But the thing is like all people would do were post articles or memes or GIFs. So I was posting content, and I was gaining a lot of followers. And actually, Marbot was the one that helped me. Like my mom, LOL. Harry reads, imagine a really wrinkly pimp for a second, like that image in your head. Don't think so. Ew. Dogs are the best. Yeah. You know what's not the best is that like randomly 3 a.m. in the morning, and it only happens like once every 4 months or something. They'll just like wake us out of a dead sleep, and panic ensues in the house. Like, what's happening? And it'll be like a raccoon in the backyard. When they were about 2, someone was going through our neighborhood and like breaking into cars and getting the change out of them. My dogs didn't bark at all. And it was one night where my husband didn't lock the car, and we just noticed some change missing. That was it, nothing else. But he went 2 doors down, and one of the kids that lived there kicked his butt in the driveway. But my dogs didn't bark at all. I'm like, that's when you bark. But now they'll bark like if the mailman brings something up. They'll bark if anyone except for the people that live here come up to the door. They go crazy. Let's see. No, it's not 4chan or Reddit. It's just, let's see. Some people are horrible on Amino. Yeah, I just don't mess with it anymore. So, they're boxer border collie mix. People mistake them for pit bulls all the time, but there's no pit in them. There could be, and I don't know it, but no. 4chan or Reddit. I meant, what about 4chan or Reddit? Holding people hostage. I'm lost here. 4chan or Reddit for what now? For stories? Is that what you meant? And of course, holding people hostage. What did you mean, Antonio? 4chan or Reddit for what? I don't know how long there is a delay here. I don't know if it's like 30 seconds or 45 seconds or 10 seconds or I don't know. Does anybody want me to read anything? I had this one thing that I found on Pinterest that I was reading last night, and it was so gross that I don't even think I can read it for my channel because it's so gross. Oh, yeah, I don't go I have read stuff from Reddit from the free to use stories, but that was only when I started out my channel. The good thing about Reddit is I've found authors like Hey Kaylin and the guy that wrote Summer 1984 and the guy that wrote the Becky Taylor transcript. And Nick Boddick, the Blackouts guy, and then the one who wrote the Weird Boyfriend story. I found them on Reddit, so I'll go through spurts while I find tons of authors and email them all at the same time if I can use their story. And some of them respond and some of them never do. So, but it's really cool because like I read, let's see, when you read something and then an author likes it, then they send you a bunch more stuff. So that's really cool. I got permission to read all of Hey Kaylin's and two guys that work for Thought Catalog. They just have a ton of stuff there. I just haven't been able to do, some of their stories are super, super long. They're like 45 minutes minimum when they're done. And that takes a long time to read because if you read anything out loud, you mess up. And so you have to go back, and not only do I do that, but I have these, little clicks. Like when I have to pause it, like if you're reading something and spit gathers in your mouth, you have to like pause it and clear your throat. And let's see. I'll send you stories. Just gotta write them. Oh, make sure you let me know too, because sometimes when a new person sends me email, Harry, it'll go in my spam folder. I occasionally check it, but I try not to because I noticed that if you check your spam folder, suddenly spam ends up in the regular inbox, and that's so ridiculous because there's some, someone give me a concept. I've been there. I sent, okay, let me go back here. I met a guy, he was a murderer. He murdered a guy, and then he tried to murder me, but Jesus descended from the heavens and kicked him. Jesus. Let's not meet again. Oh, are you making fun of Reddit? Antonio says, what I meant was Amino in the category. Was it like 4chan or Reddit? Sorry for, no, it's just like you can post stuff there. And I was posting, like they had a link so you could link your YouTube channel and your stories to Horror Amino. And then they were like flagging it saying you can't just post a link. And I'm like, well, here's the problem. The person that created the Horror Amino made it so that you could do that. So I'm like, you don't make any sense. And I'm done here because people were like, I had more followers on Horror Amino than I did on YouTube. And that was like before Christmas, or I don't remember the last time I went on there. It was either, no, maybe it was like January or February. But I know a lot of people that were posting their stories there and they just stopped because it was so annoying. Rainer Lewington told me that I guess it's a little bit better now because someone was getting like, they gave someone authority to do stuff on there and they were just going crazy. You know how some people are with a badge. Haha, I'm just joking. That's a joke because I just made that cop story on Saturday. I hope you guys all listen to that. That's the funny thing is I have almost, well, I guess it's not almost. Now I do have 3,000 subscribers, but 3,000 people don't watch my videos. So I don't know who, unless you comment, watches the videos. I've been there. They were acting like jerks toward you. Yeah, I wasn't the only one though. They were doing that to a lot of people. And they kept like daily, they were changing what they wanted and what was allowed there. So I'm like, come on. I can only handle one site honing me down at a time. So YouTube was the one I chose because, oh my God. I tried, I did post stuff on VidMe, but it's really hard. Like unless you have to get verified so that you can tag your stuff in the creepy category, but you have to have 50 followers and I only have like 42. It's been a couple months now and I don't really see, like I've only seen 1 or 2 comments. Like it's very low very low, what's the right word I'm looking for? Subscribe with 2,600 separate accounts. Jesus. Harry loves me, everyone. I'm just joking. Is that really my husband? Is Harry Reid's my husband in disguise? I'm just joking. Well, oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Oh, VidMe. They have really good intentions, but if it was just horror, I think it would do a lot better. So my dream is, and that's what my Patreon is for, my dream is to make a site that's just for horror and not just for me. Because even though I've noticed some people saying that their YouTube revenue is up, I still don't feel secure in it. I still don't feel secure that they're not going to turn around and do something else asinine that's going to screw with people and their channels. And so as a backup security, I would like to make my own site that's not just for me, but for horror. And I want to call it HorrorTube or something else. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why my dogs keep doing that. I like to pretend that I'm getting stuff delivered that I didn't order, and it's like a surprise box full of money. You know, I can live in a fantasy world pretty deeply. I mean, I'm surrounded by reality, so I'm not unrealistic, but I can really let my imagination go wild. Oh, a website dedicated to horror. I know. I'm surprised there isn't one. I mean, there could be one already. Does anyone know of one that's already? I'm going to look it up. Let's see here. Oh, my search thing was still on Trump. So if I look up something, let's see. There's something called like MovieTube, and they call it Horror MovieTube. There's something on that in that arena. Do you need to go outside and go potty? Is everyone going to be okay if I let my dogs outside? Just order a pizza. You wouldn't have to pretend. Oh, pizza sounds so good. Like really, I could almost eat pizza all the time. I can't have like. Let's see. The more you get to know me, the more you realize how the conditions I have. I know that a lot of people have acid reflux. I've had this for a really long time, and it's random also. And there's a list of things you're not supposed to eat, and like tomatoes and tomato like pizza and pasta sauce are on the list. And sometimes I'm fine, but sometimes I'll eat it, and I literally will be up sitting. I'll sit up in bed all night because I'll be in severe pain, and it's because it's like an acid problem, but it's like acid refluxzilla. So that's a little fact about me, but I freaking love pizza. Oh, that's what I do when I get a new t-shirt. Oh, what's this? Oh, you forgot you ordered one? Oh, Kitty Baby, are you the one that ordered a t-shirt? Somebody ordered a t-shirt when I made the Nightmare Fuel, and I just want to know if anyone ordered, what's the quality like of the shirt? Like, is it garbage? Is it worth it? I tried to make it as cheap as I can. Like, one horror narrator has a site, but he's pretty arrogant, and you pay monthly, but he don't upload that often, and he plays the premium content on YouTube live streams as well. Oh, Kitty Baby, I'm a slow typer. Yeah, for the site, what I want to do would make it like YouTube. It would be free for the people viewing. It'd be free for the people that wanted to post. But what you do is you monetize the site so you have ads on it. And that is a necessary thing for anyone that wants to have any kind of site worth watching. You either have to charge people to watch it, or you have to monetize with ads to pay for the content that you want to store online for the server, yada, 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 yada. You know what I mean? So you either have to fork out the money in advance and get it monetized and get it set up for the massive amount of stuff that you want to have on the website, or you have to charge people to come to your site to do that, which means that they're going to go to your site and not have it built the way, you know, you're going to have people that are going to have to come back and watch it grow as you grow, which I'm more than willing to do that too. I'm just wondering what everyone else wants. I just love, I wish there was a site where, I wish there was a horror tube where I could just go on and it's all horror. And what sucks is now, because of this ad revenue, there's so many people that stopped doing it. I don't think my dog is go to the bathroom, but if they see something they want to bark at Harry, they just want to go outside. Like my one dog will whine and whine and whine and whine until she can go outside and just bark at someone. Yeah, they're never forced to stay inside or outside or anything like that. It's kind of hard to tell. There's a two old ladies that live across the street from me, and they have like a lawn service that comes. And this is Tuesday, right? So I'm sure the lawn service is over there. What about you now? I don't know. 8. I got distracted. If I ever get distracted, just say, what were you saying about ... Because I lose track so easily about what the heck I'm talking about. I think I wanted to know. Might have been asking a question. I don't know. Oh, excellent quality, beautiful colors, great fit. Oh, I'm so freaking glad, kitty baby, that you told me that, because I'm like, I wish I had the product first. Like, that's ideally what you want to do, is have your actual store that you have the products and you can feel them and know what the quality is before you send them out. Because that was like, man, what if someone orders a shirt and it sucks? Like, it shrinks in the washer or dryer. But no, the site you now. Oh, VidMe. Is that what you mean? 8. The site that I want to make into, I want to call it Horror Tube, just so it's all horror. But VidMe was the one I was talking about, where it's just, it's not, there's not enough traffic there to really make it worth, like, thankfully, it's really easy to share like the content you've made from YouTube to VidMe, but it's just, it doesn't get the views, it doesn't get the traffic. You're going to get white now. You know what? I love white clothing, but I cannot personally have it look good for more than, I would say 3 times is the max that I can wear something that's white that's not going to have something spilled on it. That super bums me out. It's like primary colors are like my colors. Black, white, red, blue. Sometimes I like to, I have a lot of, for some reason, I have a lot of army green, not on purpose, in my closet, and I never wear it. Like, sometimes I will, but it matches my eyes, so. You think what is separate? The site, no, the site you now. I think it's separate. What's separate? It really bugs me that there's a delay, because it makes it so hard to talk back and forth with you guys. Because I get so distracted and forget what I was talking about. 6 people that are watching now know that I'm just a random goofball. DuchessDark presents. Right, but ideally, I would like it to make it for more than just myself. I would like it to be a safe haven for horror. But you know what I could do is have like a feature where DuchessDark presents like Marbot, DuchessDark presents Phantom of Darkness, DuchessDark presents Unit 522, things like that, and then have like a 3 or 4 hour show that showcases like that person or multiple people. YouNow.com is separate from VidMe. So what is on YouNow? I'm gonna look it up. YouNow is separate from VidMe. Live stream, video chat, free apps, Explorer. Yeah, it says a lot about live streaming on YouNow. Still so proud to be a subscriber of your DuchessDark. Thank you, Antonio. Yeah, I really like Unit 522 also, and he is secretly a very, very nice person. Don't tell him I said that. You 6 people keep that secret. Okay, then DD presents horror. Does your site have a place where righty-tighties such as myself can post our works? That's a good idea. I actually was thinking about having featured writers on the site. Not just one, but several. That way I could get their content, but they would also get credit they deserved and all the contact information. So that's a really good idea, Harry, and it was already on my brain. Somewhere I have written all the stuff that I want on it. Secrets stay with me. Who else is really nice? You know, Darkness Prevails. I've watched him from the time he... What's funny is I hadn't had a channel on very long, and neither had he. But he went from 0 to 50,000. It seemed like really, really fast. And I remember his first like live stream face reveal. And I was talking to him, telling him how I had just started a channel. It was probably out for like a week or two. And he's like, I'm going to subscribe. And we don't have enough ladies in horror. So I was like so excited about that because I was like, okay, cool. I didn't realize, you know, how important that support really is. I'm mediocre, I think. Probably not, but I don't know. Darkness Prevails. I really love his channel also. Let's see. I was going to talk about who reached out to me first. When I first started, I believe the first person that reached out to me was Rainer Lewington. And it was either because I followed him or he followed me on Twitter, and then we just started talking from there. He was talking about how he's a writer, and so he was really, really important to helping me like branch out and get to know more people. So thank you, Rainer. And then there was 2 people, and I can't remember which one was first. They were like either the same day or one after the other. But Goodnight Goosebumps had me collab with him. And I probably had only done like 3 or 4 videos, maybe more at that point. I don't know. And then Celestial Nor had me collab with him too. They were so nice. And the funniest thing ever is about horror people is they're nicer than any, and I'm going to use quote fingers, person that claims to be normal. Man, if someone claims to be normal, I really just want to avoid them like the plague, because that means that they're mean, they're judgmental, and they're very closed in on what they believe and see and think and feel. That's my definition of normal. It's not a good thing. He's funny. When did you start? It's been a year ago. The end of May, I think, was my first story I posted. And I just wanted to see how it did. I just wanted to see if anyone commented on it and see how it did. Twitter is so awesome to reply toward your favorite YouTubers. I think so. Twitter is instrumental. A thing on Facebook. And I sometimes get people that watch it. I'm going to let my dogs out. Is everyone going to be okay if I walk away from this computer for like a minute? I'll be right back. Come on, guys. Come on. I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Don't leave. Come on. Everyone can hear every step I take in this house because of our creaky floors, so that's great. Anyways, yes, they're all... No, I don't think anyone's odd and strange. I think that everyone is the way they should be. I think what's odd and strange are people that conform to other people's ideas of what they should be. That's odd and strange to me. It's odd and strange to me that people are afraid to be themselves because of what someone else might think of them. That to me is odd. Like, why would you conform yourself to someone that doesn't matter in your life? Do a flip? Damn. In this house, I think it would sound like the house is falling down if I did a flip in here. Big man Tyrone's leaving now. Here to entertain you guys. None of us are normal. Thank God. Let's see, Antonio, what did he say? Gothic Librarian. Yeah, I really liked her when I first started. I love really strong accents, and I really admire someone who's bilingual, because I swear I cannot fully learn another language, and I think that's a very huge disadvantage, not to be able to speak another language. Not only does it help your brain function better, but it really helps you open doors to people that normally you can't talk to. So anyone who's bilingual, I salute you, because that's hard. That's hard to understand, not only just to read it and write it, to understand it, and to also understand slang and sarcasm in another language. I mean, come on. That's, oh, I'm back to robot sounding. Uh-oh. Well, that might mean our time is wrapping up then. Is it sounding like a robot? I'm going to wait for a response. What does horror mean to me? It's funny. One slip of the tongue there and it sounds like horror. I don't know. Someone said robot, so I don't know if that meant I was sounding like a robot, but I don't know. I can't hear myself if I'm screwing up or not. If the oh, the normal, yeah. Robot, yeah. And like, if everyone has their hair a certain way, I usually don't want my hair like that. Like, if everyone's cutting their hair short, I'll grow mine long, and vice versa. But the one hair trend I did get on was like when everyone was getting a pixie cut. I got one and I loved it. But I live in Michigan and it gets really friggin' cold here. And until that time comes, you know, when ladies get older and they get hot flashes, not dissing that at all, but I'm not at that point yet in my life. And I get really friggin' cold in the winter. So right now my hair is just past my shoulders. But Kitty baby, I can barely speak English. Really? So are you? Oh, Enduro, hello. I remember having hair. Now I have to perm my back. My husband's the same way. My husband is very hairy, but not on top of his head, and he makes fun of himself all the time. But I personally cannot picture him with hair, and I think he looks better without it. So, okay, Harry asked, what does horror mean to you? Horror, I think, means a lot, different things to different people. So I think that's why you asked that. But I think horror is something that, and this can be different for everybody. Horror doesn't even have to be horror to someone. I mean, it doesn't have to be in that category for it to be scary to someone. First of all, I think horror has to be scary because scary isn't always a monster or blood or gore. Scary is something that most people are scared of what they don't know. And a lot of movie creators do play on that a lot. I think anything that can push you beyond your comfort zone and then mess with your mind, that can be horror. And that's why I fell in love with creepypastas, because that's what most of them do. Kitty baby, no, I'm born and bred in Oklahoma. Haha. Enduro says one could crochet a hat from my back. Yeah, I joke all the time that I'm braid my husband's chest hair and put beads in it just because I thought it would be funny. I know what you meant, Kitty baby, but I forgot what I was talking about again because, oh, horror. I think that sometimes someone can watch a scary movie with me and they can be like, oh, that was so bad. And I'll be like, that was so good, because they're not paying attention to the storyline. They're paying attention to like the jump scares or the visuals of what's supposed to be scary. And the whole time I'm thinking of the storyline. I like when you cannot guess the ending. Because most of the time, and it happens 9 times out of 10, that I can guess the storyline of what's going to happen. It just seems like if it's too predictable, I'm not going to say the movie was bad, because if they put a lot of effort into it and it was well written and it was a good visual piece, sometimes there's a movie that's good and the acting's good, but the storyline sucks. But I still don't think that the movie sucks, because it was enjoyable to watch it, because I appreciate all the factors that go into making something. Maybe that that's always been there for me. Like I always like to watch the commentary, I like to see how something is made. When it comes to movies, the behind the scenes thing, my husband's the same way. That's probably something that we deeply have in common. But we also have in common our fascination with investigations and crime. And my deepest one right now was a show called Cold Justice. It used to be on A&E, and they just brought it. They had to take it off the air because a man was upset that he was being accused of something that he didn't do, and he thought that it slandered his good name. He was found not guilty. The show made it clear that he wasn't guilty, but it took their show off of A&E. But now they got picked up by Oxygen, and I love that show because they take cases that are 5 years old, 25 years old, and they try to solve them with the technology that they have now. And I can listen again. That's good. I haven't. And actually, I've been waiting for Sci-Fi to put Paranormal Witness back on because I friggin' love that show. I love how they made those. There's a lot of ghost shows that have been around, but for some reason, I just love Paranormal Witness because they really play on your psyche and make it as scary as they can. Sometimes the stories are kind of sad because of people, the worst part is when people are telling their stories about being like haunted and something going on in their house, and then no one believes them because whether or not you believe them, it happened to them. But I love that show, and I've been looking for it, and there's no confirmation of a season renewal this year. I'm just hoping maybe it's going to come on in October because last year it came on in September. It came on earlier, so I freaking love that show. And from my experiences and looking for stuff online, there's an endless list of people that have stories to tell on paranormal. And that was another reason why I wanted to do this random stream, because I do want to do a paranormal stream and talk about that. I'd also like to talk about cold cases. One of the reasons I like the show Cold Case is because my grandpa is a cold case. He let's see. He was a man who served in the war, not Vietnam. It was longer ago than that. He earned a Purple Heart. The short version of that story that I got from his family, because he never talked about that. Most men that went through hard times in war don't talk about it because the old school is don't talk about it, don't deal with it, just forget about it, bury it deep inside. And we all know that doesn't really work well. It comes out in forms of alcoholism and other extreme ways. So therapy and talking about it is good. But he was in a foxhole, and he was in there for so long that the only thing left of his socks were the bands that hold your socks up. He earned the Purple Heart for that. He came back from war and survived. And the whole time he had been sending, which been my great-grandmother, sending her his monthly check that you get when you're serving. He sent her every single check for her to save for him. And when he got back, he asked where his money was, and she said she spent it because she didn't think he was coming back. While he was in the war, he met my grandma, and they moved here. For some reason, they moved to Michigan because my grandpa was from Texas. Oldest, of 7. He moved up here, worked for Consumers Energy for like 33 years. This is all relevant to the man. He worked here, and he worked for Consumers Energy, the kind of guy who had to, climb the poles, that kind of guy. My grandpa was very dark-skinned. You can hear the term red skin, but he had red skin. And his mother was a concentrated, not his mother. Yes, it was his mother. Was a large percentage of American Indian. And all of my grandparents had a lot of that. So I have a lot of mix of that in me, but there's not enough of one specific tribe. But I'm straying off topic here. One My grandpa worked for consumers. After getting the Purple Heart, he worked for consumers for 33 years. He had been married 3 or 4 times due to alcoholism, but I don't want to talk bad about him, you know. He's not here to defend himself on that. He got skin cancer, survived that. He had emphysema, and he didn't die from any of those things. He died from a slit across his throat because he told the wrong person at a bar that he didn't keep money in a bank. He kept it in a locked box in his house, around 250,000 of it in a box in his house. He told the wrong person, who slit his throat for it and took the money. And you know, I have an email from the investigator from when I wanted one last shot at them trying to tell me who did it. You know, they didn't. Now if they went back and tested the carpet fibers, they might be able to specifically say who the killer was. This brings up the show Cold Justice, because part of the way that you get them to investigate a cold case of yours, you had to contact the police department that was in charge of the case, and then they have to contact the show. So when I contacted the police department, they were certain and sorry. They were certain of who they did it, but they couldn't pin it on someone because this and that. And there was no evidence except for one shoe print in the snow in Texas. And that they were satisfied that the person, they knew who the person was, even though he was never charged for it, and he died in prison. And that, to me, doesn't seem good enough. That doesn't seem like justice to me. So I had contacted the show. I had contacted the police department to contact the show. And then he sent me that email. The detective sent me the email, you know, saying regretfully they could never fully charge it with one person without a doubt. And I just don't find that satisfactory. But it was a long time ago. But I don't think that that's an acceptable thing. And so I might contact them again, because I don't think that's fair. I don't think if the person that supposedly did it died in prison, they should still have that attached to their name, because my grandpa deserves that. I think I was talking to my husband about this yesterday. I think the reason that sometimes, you know, you have a grandparent pass and you're sad, of course, and you miss them. But there's sometimes when a grandparent or person in general that passes away that just devastates you. Because for me, my grandpa loved me just for existing. And there's not a lot of people that can say that they know more than a few people that just love them for being alive. You don't have to do anything to impress them. You don't have to achieve certain things for them to just worship you. And that's what I felt like. My grandpa just loved me. That was my mother's father. And then my dad's mom was the same way. Like, they just love you for being you. If I sound like I'm upset, I'm not. My throat is really, really sore. There's a cold going around my house, and my throat keeps going in and out. But my grandpa died quite a while ago. But when someone dies that way, it's just not right. I'm not saying it's right when someone dies of cancer, because it's not. But when someone dies in that way, they deserve to be investigated until something has some sort of answer. So, yeah, try warm honey. Yeah, I do need to go to the grocery store. I don't know how much longer this stream is going to go up. I don't know if anyone has, right. See, thank you for your concern, you guys. My throat is just so raw. But I mean, I'm not sad. It makes me angry that that's okay for a police department to attach their name to that in an email. Oh my God. Enduro says the previous tenants of our house, their 17-year-old son hung himself from a tree in the backyard. No ghostly happenings. That's terrible. Microwave blows up. I missed a whole conversation because I was like, I was totally like in my own land of reliving a moment there. When I first heard about my grandpa, I didn't believe it. Oh, the tree is still there? What? Oh my God. Whiskey sounds good. I have a little bit of a headache too from it. It's a combination of a cold that's been going around my house and then my allergies. So like my throat's like the victim of that. And then constantly reading stuff out loud because I have to make it a habit of reading stuff out loud every day. It really helps. Like if anyone's been here since the beginning or watched my Q&A, it really helps my speech impediment because it's still an issue for me. If I go any amount of time without reading out loud, it's like right front and center. It's not completely there, but it's a problem. So the more I speak out loud, which is probably another reason why I talk to myself all the time. Oh no. You found a picture of the kid and his parents abused him. You have got to be kidding me. Oh no. Yeah. As far as like leaving YouTube, here's why. It was the same time that something happened on Twitter, and then the same, like earlier that week, they took Creepy Tales Corner. They took his channel away, and that made me just talking about it makes me really pissed off because he was getting racially targeted on YouTube, on his Instagram. I don't know. I don't recall seeing anything on Twitter, but it was nonstop. And he was getting harassed. And so YouTube took his channel away because they said it was spam. Well, that's what I did say in there, unless a miracle happens and they stop screwing with horror, I don't want to have to leave. But I also don't want to come to YouTube one day and find my channel and all my content gone. That's why I started a Patreon, so I could start backing myself up just in case. But I also started it to do an equipment upgrade because it's a miracle every day that this computer doesn't fly out the window. It just has a mind of its own and it does whatever it wants to. And right now it's behaving and I don't understand it. So it's insane. The Creepy Tales Corner. I know that you have a second to catch up there, but the Creepy Tales Corner. This delay drives me crazy. Yeah, I know. And it makes me not want to be part of something that finds racial targeting acceptable. So all the horror stuff aside on top of that, and then watching someone else bash someone else on Twitter that I respect, and then that person bowed down to them, I just, my hands were up in the air. Like it took me days to calm down. Like I was like, why? Because I'm a person, I don't like investing my time in something if it feels pointless. Like if they're just going to take your content away or let people harass you or this and that. And I'm like there's the only reason that I ever come back to YouTube are for the people that are listening and watching and I interact with them. If it weren't for that, then it would make me feel like anything I do on YouTube is pointless. So I like when people comment. I even like when people comment like bitchy bullshit comments because I'm always up for a good fight, baby. But I'm always classy about it. I tell them how precious and what wonderful little special thing that they are. I'll nail your foot to the floor to keep you from leaving. My virtual foot. I just feel like building up something else on the side of YouTube is just a smart thing to do anyway. Tie her up. Good luck. I don't mean that as like bait, like, no. Anyways, I just feel like building up another site or creating something outside of YouTube is a smart thing to do that celebrates horror. And what would be awesome is if something like Sci-Fi or FX saw the horror community and were like, hey, come on here, or something else that would just like back us up stronger than YouTube. Like what's stronger than YouTube? Actual TV or Netflix. That would be amazing. But then the quality of your content would have to be like top friggin' notch. So It's like good and bad. Everything good, every step up good that you take is like more work, and it's harder. It's worth it, but it's harder. If you decide to leave, can you give us a link to the site? Say, okay, I started a Patreon, and I don't mean to keep mentioning it, but I'm just in case. I started a Patreon so I could start building up that. I worded it specifically on there so it sounds better when I just read that. My goal is to do an equipment upgrade, but it's also to help build up funds to help build the website. I don't think I could ever just leave YouTube. My fear is that YouTube would just be like, horror, no, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. If they're just going to decide who's here and who's not because someone else bitches and moans about something, they need to fix that. Someone somewhere said they decided, or they had hired people to go through stuff manually. They need to hire more. But I don't want to get into this whole annoying YouTube thing about how awful they are. Because the second I, decide to leave, that's when they fix everything. Of course. God. I don't know. Is this thing on still? Okay, I see the little thing talking, so it looks like it is. Is that a video site? I would like to make it a video site. I would like to make it, I was just talking about this. I think it might have been before you got here. But what I would like it to do is not just a site for me, but a site for other horror creators. So I could either have a night where I featured one, like Saturday or Friday night, and just feature like, I listed off a bunch of people that are really good horror narrators and just like feature them on my site, and or feature a list of them like on a Friday or Saturday night, and or have them have a permanent home there as an additional backup. And then I want to feature writers there so that they, they can submit, they can just a whole thing for all of the horror community. All good, all a backup. Oh, got ya. I'm sorry. Let's see, how did my goal is to upgrade my equipment and software, and but basically it's also to help build up the website, because I just want to, oh, Harry. Lunch hour's over, Enduro. Oh, gotta go back to work. Been awesome. Okay, Dee. Bye. Bye. Horror movies are very popular, but horror stories are ban-worthy. Yeah, exactly. I'm not asking you guys to do that. I'm just letting you know that it's there because I don't know. It's like, it seems like a really good idea, but then it's like, I don't know. I don't think this stream is going to be on much longer because I'm running out of stuff to ramble about, and I have to go run a few errands. But I think, what is this weekend? I would like to this Saturday do a paranormal stream. Now it seems like it only works if it's just me. Like if I'm on with anyone else, my stupid computer constantly robots me out. I don't know why it does that. But it does. So it seems to be working this entire time. And how long have we been on here? A while. I think I started this right at like 2 hours. Good Lord. 2 hours. 2 hours I've stolen from you guys. But I would like to talk to a parent. I'd like to get to a point where my live streams involve like live stream or a podcast. I don't know how to record a conversation with another person. Like, you know how you do like Google Hangouts if you're talking to anyone that does this without you being on YouTube? If I can figure out a way to record that and actually like interview an expert, that would be, ooh. I'd like to be able to have a stream with experts on, from forensics to paranormal. I was going to have a person on, and I'm going to contact him and see if he still wants to do it, for my paranormal stream, Mason, who's on my Twitter, who contributed to the art contest, is a demonologist. And I was gonna have him on for my paranormal stream and have him talk about some experiences or what they feel is demonic activity. So I thought that would be really interesting. Okay, Harry, I'll see what I can do for you, Harry. There, okay. Let me see. Does anybody else have any other questions or concerns about the fact that I just rambled for almost 2 straight hours from every single topic? I didn't talk about jewelry, so I guess you can be thankful for that. What's funny is I love the color black. Like probably 50% of my wardrobe is black, but I love hot pink too. I love everything. It's made my work day better, so thanks for that. Why did you retract it, Harry? Harry, that would be so cool. Yeah, I'm hoping to. So I'm going to contact Mason and see if they want to do it. My fear, though, is that my stupid computer is going to be like burp, beep, burp, burp, the whole time I'm trying to have a serious discussion about paranormal activity and demonology and all that stuff. So it totally is like, oh, frustrating. And again, I don't know if that's my computer, but because my computer does all kinds of crazy stuff to me at random times. I was just saying that's the only thing I didn't talk about was jewelry. I've tried to make my own jewelry and it's been a disastrophe. And that catastrophe mixed with disaster. Disastrophe. It's probably in the Urban Dictionary somewhere. Both. You loved this stream? Yeah, I was like, I have a minute now. I should just try to do that right now because I've been meaning to try a random stream in the middle of the day. Usually people read to you, though, when they do a stream in the middle of the day, and I just figured, I don't know if anybody wanted me to do that, so I didn't want to just, like, come on and just start reading. I'm here for you guys. What do you guys want? Did you guys want me to ramble for 2 hours straight? I found a really disgusting thing, like, I wanted to do more cop stories, police officer stories. And I found this really gross article last night. And I don't even think I want to read it for my story because it's not even scary. It's just gross. Does anybody want me to read you one example? Because it's pretty bad. And it's 26 cops on the creepiest things they found during a house search. And they're all gross. They're all bad. Let me see. I'm going to read one and I'm going to see what you guys think here. They're pretty short. There's a couple that are longer, but they're pretty short, but they're so gross. Ew. Let me see here. This one, the very first one. I used to volunteer with my local PD. Nothing will beat the old lady who passed away in her house, and her little dog ate her face. Literally, just the skin from the jawline to the hairline and from ear to ear. It left the eyeballs in the sockets. Just a skeleton in a lady suit doing the 1,000-yard stare. Like, they're gross. Yeah, did you barf? There's worse ones than that. They're really bad. Like, I was like, ew. I was reading this in bed last night going, ew, gross. Oh my God. Ugh. Just so, ew. Oh God. Here's one that was kind of scary. It was the only one that was scary. This says, not a cop, but a paramedic. Went into a lady's house one time. Can't remember what the call was for. But inside the house, she had sheets of paper taped all over the walls. They said something along the lines of, remember, the voices aren't real. Gave me a safe, warm feeling. Oh, God. Just, ew. There's nothing. I don't know if there's anything scarier than the moment that you realize that you are in a situation where you're next to or surrounded by someone who needs to be seen by someone right now, because you feel like panicky. Like, I am all for mental health discussions, mental health care, proper mental health care. That doesn't always mean drugs. But the second that you're in the presence of someone that you feel is mentally imbalanced and has not been seen, and you feel that tinge of danger, if anyone has felt that, it's scary. Let me just tell you that I asked someone who was very close to me at one point why they drank so much alcohol. And in the dark house on the stairs, this man was a foot taller than me, came close to my face and whispered to me that it kept the angels quiet. And I had never felt scared of this person until that moment. I'm not easily intimidated, but when you're alone with someone who you know can physically dominate you in a dark house and it's late at night and they say something to you that is like off the charts what you expected them to say to you, that can really mess with your mind. That actually happened to me. Let's see here. Ew. Does anyone want me to read any more? Because those stories were gross. There's more. There's really a lot more. This one says, friend of a cop here. He told me about him and his buddy went to search in an apartment. They looked around and his buddy finally called him over. A guy was just in an oven. Dead, of course, but in an oven. When the guys tried to pull him out of the oven, all of the contents and gas of the dead guy fell right out. They obviously vomited and gagged. You want worse? All right. Here's one that made me just about barf last night, and we'll see if it does this for you. So, spent my first year as a constable. Okay, I'm going to skip that part. One guy we had met just decided one afternoon to start destroying shit in the commission where he lived in an apartment building. It was not in America. It's worded differently. Losing his shit. He was kicking like fences and throwing pot plants off at buildings and passerby, stealing, collecting people's shoes, smashing. He was just being crazy. He was being reckless. After about 15 minutes, he must have ran out of steam and gone back to his apartment. And that's where we found him and he decided to bung on a turn, which means he would just not stop screaming and bashing his head and face into any surface or object he could find. Eventually, we got a van with a pod and secured him. Then we went back into the house to figure out what the fuck happened, like why he was acting so crazy. The house was a clusterfuck. Somehow he had fit 2 Kohl's trolley. I don't even know what this means, but he had furniture that wasn't furniture in his house. That's the long story of that. I'll just skip that part. So he had this wooden box on a table, and inside the wooden box were about 100 small, like, sandwich bags. Over half of the bags had brown granular organic material in them, and the others had clear crystal stuff in them. The brown bags were somewhat organized from smallest to largest. Any guesses on what's in the bag yet? Oh, no, it doesn't matter if you're a nurse. This one's going to bother you. I guarantee it. All right. The brown bags were organized from largest to smallest. Okay. Now, with the type of people we had in the area, we all sorts of wonderful ways these people got high. We were used to seeing weird shit that people would eat, so we didn't recognize these bags. We've got a pretty good idea. They thought it was a narcotic, so we examined the bags and the contents. There's enough there to test if they needed to, so they got the bags and emptied the contents to see it better. So the sample of brown material had flecks of color and little tendrils of hair-like material. Not unusual for a plant derivative to have, but I'd never seen it before. So I'm looking at it as I hold it, talking to my partner. That might be a really coarse, harsh derivative by a product of like cat, maybe. Oh, they thought that that it was so weird and rare that they thought this is why he was acting crazy. So a dog unit or officer who assisted with the arrest comes in, sees the scene, looks at the coffee table, looks at the bags, looks at me holding the contents of one in the palm of my hand, and straight away says, hold on a second. Not Clay. Ugh, this is so gross. He says, the guy has golden staph. He's a staph infection. He's been collecting scabs. He had a staph infection on his leg. He started collecting the scabs, organizing them from smallest to largest, and then eating them. And the small crystals in the bags were snot and crust from his nose. Same end goal. Who's saying ew? I want to see who's saying ew to that one, because that was fucking nasty. That one was really, really gross. Like, ew. Anyone? Anyone there? Meh. All right, I'll go further. I've let my dogs in, so whoever wants to stay, stay. I'll run. I'll run. Are people still here? Let me see here. I can hear every step that I take. Ew, did the guy throw up in his hand? Yeah, that's pretty gross. Ew, there's one even worse than that. There's a scary one and a really gross one. Hello, Ian's Magic Oak. There's a really gross, there's two really gross ones. One's scary and one's just nasty. Which one do you guys want? I'm going to wait for a vote for nasty or nasty scary or nasty nasty. Nasty? Okay. Harry says nasty. No one else is going to chime in, huh? Scary. Scary. That's outweighing the nasty. Thank God, because I really don't want to read the nasty because it's really fucking gross. All right. My aunt is a police dispatcher. Normally, she takes calls from the public and has an officer nearby respond. But one day, she was asked to work the station's radio because the normal guy was sick. That meant she was acting as the central hub of the police radio network, taking calls from officers in the field and issuing backup to them, that kind of thing. She wound up having to listen to 4 cops talking back and forth in a panic as 2 squad cars arrived to check on a reported murder. The person who called was certain that there were multiple killers present. The victims' meat had been cut into 1-inch cubes as if their killer was going to fry them up or make kebabs. The whole corpse had been disassembled like that. Bones cut into neat 1-inch segments, organs removed, separated, and organized. She remembers one of the officers panicked and screamed something along the lines of, "This is OCD movie monster bullshit." I can't remember the exact quote, sadly, and I doubt my aunt remembers it herself. She thought they were playing a joke on her until they called for a hazmat crew to get the body. How was that for gross? Jen's back. Okay, I'm just going to read these two. This one's really short, but it's really bad. A teacher in my little town of 35,000 people was caught fiddling little boys. In his house, the police found a fully kitted, soundproofed abduction room. Luckily, it was yet to have been used. Yikes. Andy Stevens, hello. Here's the grossest one so far. I don't think I've finished reading this article, but this is the grossest one coming up. Teresa, hello. Ian's Magic Oak, hello. Show signs that someone was either going to eat later on or they wanted easy to dispose of. This computer is really annoying. Had to restart because I couldn't post, and yikes. Okay, here's a really gross one. This one isn't mine, but from an EMT friend. It's also maybe not so much creepy as it is nasty, but it makes my hair stand on end whenever I think of it. I want you to prepare yourselves, because when I read this, it was really gross. Like I did the gag. If it had been any grosser, I probably could have thrown up just from reading it. And I haven't read anything that bad. I've been on the border of, I had to stop reading some stuff sometimes because it makes me upset, but not grossed out. But this one was really gross. So you have been warned. In one of the apartments in the nearby city, the apartment manager went in to investigate a really bad smell in one of the lower units. Apparently, people all around it were complaining. Once he saw what was up, he called the ambulance. So, first responders show up, which includes my EMT friend. There's a lady sitting on the couch. There's also something squirmy going on down below her in her underpants area. So they check her out, and in the process remove said undergarments. Out falls a swarm of maggots. Her lady bits were covered in them. Apparently, this individual had a very strong substance abuse problem. Some of the needles she poked into her nether regions caused an infection. This led to rotting flesh. This led to rotting flesh, which attracted flies, which led to maggots. Here's the worst part. She was not dead. She was so drugged up that she basically never noticed that she was literally rotting and falling apart from the waist down. Oh, it can't be that bad. That was nasty. I want to see some reactions from that. It's friggin' nasty. Oh, blech. That's so gross. I think that's off the charts nasty. It could be in a movie. In the movie Seven? You still heard worse. I'm sure there's worse on here. There was actually, I live in a neighborhood. It's just a brief story, but across from the street from me and down is like a little subdivision. And this guy had lived in a house with his mother or father. And he was an older man. He was probably close to 50, maybe older than that. And his parents passed away, and his parents were really the only, either mother or father, his parent had passed away. And the only people that really socialized with the pair of them were with the parent. So the parent passed away, and this man was living in the house by himself. And he always parked inside the garage. So he'd go to work and leave from work, and he'd only do that via his garage. And at some point, he passed away also. Now, mind you, the parent had passed away. They had the funeral services, yada, 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 all the things. But the thing is, this man passed away in his house, and no one noticed. The neighbors didn't notice for almost a year. He had his electric bill, his bills were paid for automatically. The only reason that they even noticed was at a point where there's always something that goes wrong when you have automatic bill pay set up. Either your card expires or something goes wrong with the site or something. So that led to them trying to figure out why this guy's power was off. It was because he had died and no notice. And they have since gutted the house and have put it up for sale, but no one's buying it. I mean, who would buy that? What's annoying is that the neighbors didn't even notice the guy didn't come out of his house for a year. Like, what the heck? Don't you think they would have noticed something like the lights don't turn on or off? I don't know. It's really disturbing. Ugh. Someone else did another story with the maggots. Ugh. Yuck. Let me see. I'm gonna see. What's the 26? I'm running out here. Ew. Oh, this one's disturbing. I don't know if it's nasty, but trooper here responded to a fight between two brothers and an unrelated black male. All these guys were in their late 30s, early 40s. Get them separated. They were all drunk. Turns out the bigger of the two brothers and the other male were fighting over who got to have sex with the other brother. They had been raping him for a while. All three were low functioning. This is how it's worded. That's not how I'm wording it. Not really creepy, but I'll always remember that one. I don't know how you would go on like the rest of your shift after hearing something like that. World War I poetry. I'm going to write that down. I'm always looking for darker ideas that are outside the norm. Sometimes you read something and someone thinks it's scary and I read it and I'm like, eh. Sometimes I read stuff from my channel that I don't think is scary at all, but you guys think it's scary, and or other people, not specifically you guys, but other people think it's scary, and I'm like, really? Okay. Reminds me of this lady who lived at the end of the street where I grew up. Lennox sheriff wasn't called to do a check on her until she was dead for a month. Nothing prepares a 10-year-old for the smell. Oh. Ugh. Oh. This one's nasty. During a search of a sex offender's house, I found a room that looked like a little girl's room. In the closet, I found a 4-foot doll in a pink dress. He had no kids and was in his late 50s. Ew. Let's see. Let me read this one. Tiny, quiet southern town whole family that had been dead for a week. Their teenage daughter's boyfriend, who she met online, was visiting from across the country. Stepdad, mother, daughter, and her friend all murdered and hacked up by an axe. The mom was a professor at my university a block away, and when she didn't show up for work for a few days, cops went to the house and talked to a murderer who gave them some plausible excuse, so they left. He stayed in the house for a full week before leaving. The cops went back when neighbors reported the smell. They caught the guy at the airport about to fly home. Wow-wee. Online dating. I could do a whole series on online dating horror stories. Mine are always like funny when I look back at them now. Matthew 0. Okay. Let me see. Long investigation ensued, thinking he was sleeping with dead bodies. Turns out the girl he was sleeping with had not been taking care of herself to the point where her groin had actually died. Huh? Pedophiles get the weirdest vibes. One psychic I used to talk to can sense them at 100 paces, and her reaction was visceral and dramatic. Yeah, I think certain people who commit certain crimes do give off a different type of vibe. But I also feel like it's a similar vibe to people who pretend to be something they're not. And so I'm not saying I'm psychic, but I get feelings off of people and their energy. And I can feel when people are lying or not being, I'll also say when they're not being authentic. Sometimes I think people are lying and they don't realize they're lying because they're so used to being inauthentic to themselves that they give off the same kind of vibes. So sometimes you do have to get to know someone better before you realize that they might be an okay person, but initially doesn't give off a great feeling. Let's see. That murder almost got away. Do 5 true pet, 1 to go 8 my girlfriend's sister's cousin stories. Yeah. Let's see. They asked him how he didn't notice, but it's wartime in the hot, blistering desert. No running water, no real showers, and you're on the front lines of the heat of battle. Things just slip past you. This is a gift, even if you're only reading their bodily cues. Yeah, but Ian, I can't hone it into a specific thing to benefit anyone for the better. It just physically makes me ill when someone's lying to me, or keeping something from me feels the same as a lie. But a lie, people that lie, I physically can't stand to be around them. I have to be away from them. And what's funny is I can't say, because liars never admit when they're lying. So you can't say, I know you're lying, because they're like, no, I'm not. And I don't have any proof. I can just feel it. He said he did notice a smell, but thought she wasn't taking care of herself. Oh, I witnessed this, Jen. Oh, I witnessed a suicide. A guy who lived in a building I used to do housekeeping. He lived on the 20th floor. I saw him jump. It was horrifying. I went through months of therapy. Oh my God. Well, I will say that my my brother-in-law had to get his brother-in-law down after he hung himself. My grandpa that had his throat slit, he had tried to commit suicide long years, like a long time before that happened. But that had a lot to do with, I think, him trying to rehabilitate himself from alcoholism. That was separate. But it was something that, you know, my mom is, it's something that's prevalent in my family, the presence of it, the discussion of it, the threats of it, the reality of it. And it's a very soft point in me. And when you hear someone that you love decide that they don't want to live anymore, it breaks your heart in a way that, and a lot of people aren't lucky enough to hear it, you know, to stop it, to say something, to do something. A lot of people are not lucky enough to realize what's going on so they can step in. And sadly, that's a pain I don't know how they can deal with. I don't want to know. Hello. Hey, Spooky Boo. Spooky Boo has a website too. That's what I was talking about here a little while ago. Ian, saddest thing I had to deal with in the paranormal is a former insane asylum up here in Lancaster. One female ghost in a secluded room would simply cry, "Why don't they come to visit me?" Oh my God. I try to help people that need it. If anyone's sad, DM me. Yeah, I have a couple people I talk to specifically on Twitter. But you know, I have my moments too. So sometimes I feel like I can help, and sometimes I feel like if I can't help myself, I can't help someone else. So sometimes I have to withdraw to recharge my mental stability. I feel like I can really soak up someone else's pain, and I can take it over to the point where that's all I'm concentrating on. I'm not, so I have to be careful with that. There's a song I heard, and I'm really bad with relating songs to who makes the song. So I know everyone's going to rip me a new one on this one. But there's a new song. It's not that new, but it's pretty new. And it's like, I just want to die. Does anybody else know who I'm talking about? Is it, God dang it. I'm so bad with artists and songs. I just want to die today. I don't want to be alive. Yeah, okay, here it is. Yeah, Khalid. DJ Khalid. Or Khaled, or whatever. I never say that right. That song just like breaks my heart, because I hope that someone isn't really feeling that way and then listening to that song and just like, that's it for them. I feel like, you know, I had someone comment on one of my stories. My throat keeps going in and out. Something about her father had committed suicide and he was a coward. And I said, I'm really sorry that you feel that way, because I don't think that when someone is in a state of taking their life, that they feel like when they're in that state of mind that they feel, whether it's accurate or not, that they don't have any other choice, no other way out. They cannot see how they can make it better, what they're contributing. They can't see the glories of life, the beauty of life. They're not being selfish. They just don't feel like they can go on in this world another second. So it's really important to make people feel like they matter. Let's do a full detailed story of what happened if you want. Yes, Matthew, that would be great. Yeah. I did briefly talk about when I was in high school, I did nursing, the nursing courses. One of the conditions of that is you have to go to a lot of nursing homes and a few hospitals, but more nursing homes than anything. And so many people do not get visited when they go in the hospital and nursing home. There's so many people there by themselves where no one comes to visit them. They get put in a place and no one, it's like they don't exist anymore. People put them there so they don't have to see them. I just cannot imagine doing that to a family member. I think that for many people, it comes to a point, and those are probably the people who visit their family member, where they just can't physically take care of them anymore. That would be the only reason that I would do that. And then I wouldn't be able to go home. I'd have to be there all the time because I'd feel so fucking guilty. But that broke my heart. Like, so now I probably could do it, but back then I just couldn't deal with all these people that were just abandoned. I just felt like, how can I make their lives better? How can I do anything for them? But I was also like not even 18 yet. So let's see here. When someone commits suicide, they believe that killing themselves is the only thing they can do, and that the best thing they can do for others is to remove themselves from the situation. That's a very important point to make. For a long time, I was raised, that's all. I could do a whole stream on the religion I was raised in and the fear and the brainwashing and all that crap. It wasn't a cult. But when, I'll just leave it at that. But there's a whole like shame factor for families that still exists in a small percentage for when the family member kills themselves. And I think that you really miss out on getting the facts right when you add that shame element to someone who committed suicide. Well, that's Harry. Unfortunately, there are people that get sucked into a black hole that they can't get out of. No, you didn't bring me down. My voice is cutting out. It's so raw. I've got like allergies and a cold going around. It's Michigan. It's 90 degrees here for a straight week. Like, I'm dying. I can't even go outside. And I actually have to go run a few errands. So I actually do have to get off here. Yes. See, that's the worst part about it, Kitty Baby, is that most people who lose someone due to suicide don't know how deep they were into their own darkness. And most people that kill themselves don't tell people because they don't want anyone to stop them. And it sucks because if they would just talk about it, it would help immensely, not just themselves, but their family to understand what they're going through. And what hurts is people could say, whatever the problem they're dealing with, people will say, well, it's not that bad. And it's every perspective for every single thing that's on the planet is different for everybody. That's good, Harry. That's good. You've dealt with suicidal people before and tried helping. I've actually managed to save someone's life. That's fantastic. But that is what sucks about suicide, is it leaves so many people with unanswered questions and people wondering why they couldn't help them. Why didn't they talk to me? Why didn't they say anything? Yeah. What I wish people would stop doing is telling others to go kill yourself, because you never. Yes, I am a 100% not a fan of that. I'm also not a person, like, if you're angry at someone, like if I'm angry at someone, I don't stand there and berate them for every single thing that their weaknesses. I know a lot of people do that to people. However, like, don't get involved in an argument with me. It's not going to be good for you. All around. I'm not challenging someone, I'm just saying. But I'm not a person that's like, oh, you stupid fat. You know, people will fight and they'll say, you stupid fat idiot, you're worthless. I've never in my life said that to a person that I care about in a fight because I'm mad. I don't understand that mentality. I can't fathom that mentality, and I really can't fathom telling someone to go kill themselves. I'm not even a fan of you know, people, you know, you catch a criminal doing a bad thing, you list it, you name it, if it's something where it harms other people, and they say, well, they should have that thing done to them. And I'm a person that believes in the death penalty, first of all, but I'm not a person that believes in torturing someone else to justify the, you know, to sort of even it out, because you can't even it out. So if you ever had someone that's had something violently happen to them or had someone pass away, like my grandpa, whose killer walked free, or who is either passed away or not, my wish punishment wouldn't be to slash that person's throat, because it doesn't fix anything. However, I don't think that we should house that person and feed that person and educate that person. No, they should be gone. It should be quick, done. I don't care if it's a shot to the head or whatever. I just feel like it should be done and over. I feel like if you play into that, well, let's torture them back, that makes us into something else. I feel like justice is justice, and I feel like if you've taken a life, not in self-defense, that is a completely different thing, and it's not, self-defense shouldn't even be considered in any way where someone needs to fear going to jail. I'm talking about people who are violent individuals who murder and harm others. They should not get to live off. There shouldn't be on death row for 20 years. That doesn't even make any sense. That's right up. That for me is hand in hand with politicians collecting large salaries off the taxpayer. If we eliminated both, we would be fine as a society. All of our financial issues in America would be fucking solved pretty quickly. No more taxes paid to politicians who rob us blind, and no more institutions that just house people and don't fix them. Not to mention the fact that we had people in jail for weed for 20 years. Tell me how that makes sense. See, now I have rambled on for almost 3 friggin' hours. Let's see. Yeah, I never condone suicide. I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah, not a fan of cruelty. Okay, a new person. Okay, kidders. I think if someone gets life, they should ship them to Arizona where the inmates have to work to pay for their own food. Well, here's the thing. I agree with you to some degree. I think if they're not going to have their lives taken, then they should be doing something that contributes back to society. However, there are some that cannot and will not and refuse to do. And I'm not for anything that involves prolonging the life of someone that has done nothing but cause harm and cruelty to the planet. If they cannot be rehabilitated in some way, then that needs to be done. But I'm not like the Wild West where I think that every person in prison should die. That's obviously not the fact. The horrible thing is those horrible people that are in there for long periods of time are in there with people that committed drugs. They had drugs on them. And now they're sharing a cell with someone who, I don't know, raped 30 women or murdered people. I just don't see that's not the same level of thing. Or they made them have to defend themselves. They made them into a crueler, darker person. As a result, they get out, committed similar crimes, or, it's a bad cycle. It's a bad cycle. Hard labor. As long as they're contributing something to society, as long as they're doing something that would better society. And I'm not really sure how, because every time they've tried a program like that, no, I miss the self-defense. I don't think that someone should be in jail for any kind of self-defense, is what I was saying, Harry. They shouldn't be. And why is a charge for men? Okay. Oh, I agree. I jumped in the middle of the convo and didn't know what was that. Okay. Yeah, the people that get to repeal their case over and over and over and over and over. And when there's enough evidence for you to have been in there, like, I think there's probably a lot of people in jail, men and women, who were put in prison before the genetic evidence, and they'll never get to a point where they can repeal it to have evidence submitted that it's not them. And that sucks for them. And that's not fair. And part of the reason is that all those other people who are guilty have repeal after repeal after repeal, and there's a whole broken legal system. That could be a whole another discussion topic too. Depends on what state you're in here. Okay. Gordon Ramsay did an inmate program. Right. And it would have to the people would have, and it wouldn't even have to be on whatever crime it was that they were charged with, because sometimes people get charged with a crime that was a lesser crime than they actually did. So I guess you would have to be in a certain category where you were deemed a person who could be rehabilitated back into society, because that should always be the end goal, because otherwise the prisons existing is pointless. All you're doing is creating cages. And we already have places like that euthanize their residents, and those animal shelters, and a lot of places do that, and that's awful. Innocent animals die, prisoners stay alive. Does that seem right to you? I think people that do those things have something severely wrong in their heads. Yeah. Why is it rape if men do it, but it's sexual assault? It's sexual assault either way. It's rape either way. Rape is rape. Sexual assault is sexual assault. But I believe the category is rape if there is penetration. Sexual assault doesn't mean actual intercourse. The California fires last year were started by an ex-con who learned about being a firefighter in prison. Haha. Irony. It has to do with the laws and how they're worded. The charge is different. Yeah, the charge is different because rape is penetration and sexual assault is sexual assault. It doesn't have to be, it could be someone fondling your genitals. It could be someone trying to take your shirt off. So it could be someone pinning you down, but they don't actually complete the act. That's the difference. But again, I'm someone who's very for equality, men and women. You know, women for a long time were getting lesser charges when it came to like sex with minors, because they're like, ooh, she's hot. It doesn't matter if she's hot. It's wrong and it's disgusting. Men and yeah, it's called sexual assault. Yes. And I just read an article the other day about a guy who was drugged by his ex-girlfriend. She raped him while he was drugged, got pregnant, and told everyone that he raped her, and he got charged. And I just thought that was, but it should be called rape. Sexual assault. Rape isn't rape until there's some sort of penetration. It's not. It's sexual assault when it's intention. When there's an assault that's deemed in the sexual nature. Rape is the actual act. Yeah. I'm going to wrap it up here anyway, Jen. But I was so glad I got to do this and it actually worked. This is the first time I think I've got to do a stream and my stupid computer didn't mess up. I think we touched on every single subject except for nail polish, shoes, Um, if a woman gets pregnant for raping a man, she can still sue him for not paying child support. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I'll just tell you this. Oh, well, I don't know if I should tell this or not. Yeah, I'm just going to save it for another time. But from my experience, I'm on the bad end of that little thing that you just brought up, Harry. So I'm glad you came to, Lily. And actually, yeah, I'm not going to get into it, but there's not always rape. There's not always tearing in the vagina if it's a rape. And plus, that's not always in the vagina. But yeah, that's why they take tissue samples and semen samples and fluids. Oh my God. 3 men pinned down a guy. No, it's sexual assault. Because there's not penetration of body parts. There's not penis to vagina. I don't know how else to say it without saying it like that clearly. Okay. I'm going to do my nails too. They're bad. Okay. Well, the hymen would only tear if the person was a virgin. Okay, I got to go because I could do a 12-hour stream with you guys and just keep talking. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm so glad. I'm going to do this again if you guys want. I just had a free moment and just thought I would try it out and see if my computer would not act up on me. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'm really glad you guys came here. I don't know if I'm going to leave this up. I'm going to listen back and see what happens, but it was really long, and I'm so glad you guys came, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.